Well, hi, very warm welcome to Dusty Shelf. Here today at Locomotion, the National Railways Museum site in Childon. So since I was last here, the museum has opened its new building and has rearranged all of the stock that's here, and they've put them into useful little areas. So this one here is Power and Progress, as you can see on the floor there. So I'm actually going to start down this side, just take a stroll around the museum, and yeah, let's have a look what's here. Well, I'm going to start by looking at this railway. I did look at this last year. A wonderful setup here of Hornby 00. Yeah, fantastic setup, all with the Art Deco station and all the different buildings on here. Hopefully not too much reflection. You come down on the side here, you see the locos, the little lighting package that's on there with the signals and the manual signals here over the track. Yeah, great little setup there. And then they've got their display cases here, National Collection in miniature. I did go through these in detail last time, but I'll just show you the English electric Deltic models again. I won't go too far into too many details on these. Yeah, beautiful collection. Well, we'll start with this Southern Railways multiple unit. Now I think the pickup is actually on the front bogies, but it says here the 2 bill from 1937 basically used a third rail. Actually, yeah, you can see it on the bogie at the far, and we're going to have a look at that in a moment. Basically, the 2 bill is an electrical multiple unit, formed part of a scheme giving such towns such as Portsmouth, Horsham and Chisholm cleaner and more frequent services into London. You can see here the electrification underneath. Beautiful day outside. And down here you can see the pickup for the third rail. So yeah, multiple unit in here. Yeah, quite a length really. Just keep walking down. Got just to the left there the prototype of the Intercity 125. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Right, this one is the Lev 1. So it's basically looks like a bus on rails. So it is the rail bus offered a no-frills alternative to the impressive technology of the APT. Dated 1978, and yeah, certainly has the 70s-esque all about it, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't know where this has been because I've not seen this before, but yeah, very yeah, square looking prototype there. You can see on the front there it says British Rail Research Department, Derby, England. You can see under the diesel engine, but it is, well, it does look like, by all intents and purposes, a bus on rails. Let's walk around the other side. It's all blocked off down there. So indeed, I mentioned the Class 41 prototype. This one dating from 1972. And it does say on here the high-speed diesel train was the prototype for the world's fastest diesel train, the iconic Intercity 125. And they've got that sitting in here. I believe this has just come out in model form. I saw somebody doing this, I can't remember who brought that out. And then next to it is the APT-E from 1972. So the APT, the Advanced Passenger Train, this one is the prototype, so the very first one. And basically this was the tilting vehicle that tilted when it went round corners. I've got a video on the channel of actually going in the well, it's still a prototype, but I mean it was the passenger version that's in Crewe, the only one in existence, full train there in Crewe. You can go and have a look inside, but if you want to have a look on the channel, it's on there. Just go down beside the APT, APT-E. I'm walking in between the two prototypes here with the prototype for the 125 next to me. And you see with the APTE here sharing the bogie and the mechanisms to to tilt either side as it went round the corners. And to the other side, Mark III coach, going by the windows, restaurant coach. I'm just going to make my way towards the end here, still following the APTE on the left there. Into the workshop space. What have we got here? Oh, that's a grand old loco, isn't it? North Eastern Railway 1875. A lovely old looking thing there. At the restoration area. I mean, that I'm guessing is the tender for the loco there. I'll just pan back down the APTE. Just make our way down to the back of the train. And at the other end, that iconic shape. A rather splendid looking coach there. Well, without any doubt, my favourite diesel loco, the prototype Deltic, and next to it, probably one of my favourite locos of all time. Wonderful to see. So let's go and have a look inside the cab of the prototype Deltic. Now, when I came here last time, this was kind of hidden away in between a couple of locos and you just couldn't see it. I mean, you've got the side markings on this one, and round the front, those iconic chevrons. You know, it is something quite special just to see there with the centre light. But as I say, let's go and have a look inside. Digressing, such a wonderful loco. I've just come up the steps here. Wonderful curved windows here, and inside the cab there, the tiny little windows at the front, you can only just see over this huge bonnet, 2 seats either side, and then at the back here, the almighty engine behind. And just from this perspective, let's get a shot of it next to us. Right, and as I head down between the Deltics, the prototype here, dating from 1955, the world's most powerful single-engine diesel unit locomotive, appearing in 1955 in a livery of bright powder blue with cream speed whiskers and headlamp housing. Yeah, beautiful loco. And from a beautiful loco to a beautiful coach. Yesterday I was standing in the National Railway Museum in York, looking at the Duchess of Hamilton, resplendent in its streamlining, next to a castle class loco that was next to the A4, the Mallard. And I was debating with myself over which one I like the best. Well, in terms of livery, hands down, it's always the Duchess of Hamilton and the LMS livery with the gold streaks down the side. And here's one of the coaches that it would have pulled, the third class brake coach here. You see the LMS livery on there, you can see the gold flash down the side that would run off the tender of the loco and down the entire train. Absolutely beautiful. This side, Intercity Mark I coach, in the Old British Rail livery. And we can come up and have a look inside. Coach here. And from this vantage point, getting a shot of the Mark 1 coach. Well, here's a new one on me. I didn't know this existed. So keeping with the theme of prototypes and technology, this is Birmingham Airport's maglev, dated from 1984. It says here, following experiments at the Rail Technical Centre in Derby, a short maglev line was installed at Birmingham International Airport in 1984. And it took passengers from the railway station to the air terminal, but it was limited to low speeds. And they got one of the carriages in here from that. You can see it just here. And you know, obviously with magnets, you can see the magnets just underneath there that would levitate the carriage away from the track, so effectively frictionless, just with a little bit of wind resistance. And I'm assuming it used magnets for propulsion as well, but I didn't even know that existed. So there's a new one on me, so I learned something new today. Yeah, wonderful. Just down the way there, it looks like one of the prototype carriages from the APT. Doesn't look like I can get very close to that, so that's a shame. Yeah, tucked behind on some sort of trestle, but yeah, that's for another day, I think. Well, here we have the Intercity 125, or the high-speed train. That iconic shape and the original livery by Kenneth Grange. And basically this one, quite a special loco this. So the Class 43 dates from 1978, but this particular one, in 1987, this vehicle, number 43102, was the lead car of the train that broke the world speed record for a diesel unit travelling at 148.5 miles an hour. So, you know, I'm not going to go through the history of the high-speed train, but effectively this was the replacement for the APT and became just that iconic shape associated, introduced in the late 70s, but associated most with the 80s. Now, I did actually get to go on one of these as well when I was at the Crew Heritage Centre. I went inside the cab, and again, that's on the video, but I'll just have a quick look inside. Just hopefully that's coming out onto to show you the controls and the seating inside the cab here. And just from this vantage point, what a lovely picture. Well, I'm going to come back to the Era 1 locos in a moment and just do the other steam traction first. We got Hardwick. I saw this last year. What a beautiful loco, dating from 1892. Yeah, just such a presence, and looking absolutely splendid with the North Western Railway crest on the side, London North Western crest, sorry, on the side there. Plaque on the side there, a lot of reflection unfortunately, and yeah, the Hardwick name picked out there on the brass plaque. Wonderful, wonderful loco. Just moving further down a little bit, looks like a, is that a battery loco? I can't make it out, sorry. I'm going to have to read this one on it. There is a pickup on it. So a Siemens electric loco, dating from 1898. Alternatives to steam go back almost as far as the rocket. So although this loco is dated from 1898, it does say here in 1842, so only a few years after the rocket, an electric locomotive called Galvany, or Galvany, was tested in Scotland by Robert Davidson. The concept was developed in the 1880s and was ideal for the new urban railways built in tunnels underneath London. So this is sort of the precursor, or the very early days of the London Underground. So this particular loco is a Waterloo and City electric goods locomotive and operated from 1898 for an incredible 70 years. And you can see the pickups down the side here, and I'm guessing the batteries on the top here. Yeah, absolutely amazing. When you think about the technology that's in there, and it's taken all this time for it to go full circle. Well, this one has always fascinated me. And there are quite a few of these around, but this one in the museum, I believe it's Rapido that are making a model of this. It's the fireless loco. So you can see on the front here the valve. So this would be used in factories where, you know, really they couldn't have an onboard fire. For example, a paper mill and explosives factory, something along those lines, where having a fire lit inside the loco would cause any danger. So this loco, with its cylinder on the front here, not a boiler but a cylinder, would pull up and be filled with steam through the valve on the front here. Then once the cylinder full of compression, full of you know, all of that compressed steam inside, would then act as a normal railway loco. You can see the pistons down on the back of the loco, rear fitted on this, which is a little bit strange, but the pistons are on there. And this would then chuff around around wherever it was, around the site or around the factory, in and out the buildings, just creating steam as an exhaust, no danger of any fire or any heat. And then when the steam ran low, it would go off site, back to the steam house or the boiler room, refill with steam and carry on its day's work. Yeah, Barclay fireless loco, this one from 1956, and yeah, quite an interesting, well, I think it's an interesting loco. And as I say, the pistons are fitted down at the back here, right by the cab. And yeah, something a little bit different there, but as I say, I think it is Rapido that's bringing that out as a model some point this year, which I'm quite looking forward to. Might actually get one of those. Another battery electric loco here, this one from 1917. Battery electric locomotive number 1 was built by the North Staffordshire Railway in 1917, as I say. Experiments with battery locomotives have taken place since 1842, so I'm just reiterating what I said a moment ago. This locomotive had an advantage over the horses it replaced, as it was inexpensive, clean and could operate in confined spaces. Had a working life right the way through until 1963, and it says here, in that time it only ever had 2 drivers. How wonderful is that? Onto the museum's Black 5, the Stanier Black 5. Just, you know, it's difficult to put into words. I'm going to come right back here just to get this fully in the shot. Absolutely splendid looking loco, absolutely magnificent, lovely to see, really lovely locos. Now, on one of my previous videos of the Colne Valley Railway, I did actually get to go in the workshops there, where a group are restoring. We've actually got 2 Black 5s on site, but we went in the workshop and saw the one that progressed the furthest. That loco's now been moved to Ridley and Son. We'll be back on the main line sometime in the next year or so, maybe a couple of years. But yeah, saw it in its, you know, worked on state, how far they'd got with it. But this one here, this is the one that's in the National Collection, that is totally preserved. Absolutely beautiful loco. And just here you can see this wonderful valve gear. The motion on here, yeah, absolutely splendid. Now the cab is open on here. Maybe I'll try and get on there in a minute and film some footage. I did film on there last year, but you can never have too much footage going on the footplates of these locos. It's a real privilege to be allowed to go on there. And just opposite the Black 5 is a Class 71. Can't really get far enough away to get a good picture of it, but this one dating from 1959. We're just moving along from the Class 71. There's a sleeping car here that you would think is part of the Orient Express, given its sort of livery. But this is actually a sleeping car that would go to Brussels. Yeah, so this night ferry sleeping car from 1936 is a unique service which connected London with Paris and later Brussels. First running in 1936, as I say, the night ferry was aimed at the very wealthy, with colourful advertising selling its dining car and sleeping compartments. Tickets would have been out of reach of most travellers who continued their travel by foot on the ferry. So effectively these would be rolled onto the ferry with you asleep inside, strapped to the deck. You'd cross the channel and then they would roll off on the other side. So yeah, nice to see that in here. And then just panning across from the night train, this side we've got the Royal Train Brake Carriage, this one dating from 1906. So everything was carefully planned when the royal family travelled, with timetables and routes agreed well in advance. So this particular carriage is one of two passenger brake carriages converted for Royal train use in 1925, provided accommodation for staff and the train guard who operated the handbrake to secure the train when it was parked in sidings. So this loco here is the two hat. It's an electric loco, a cab at this end, and basically a commuter train, Southern Railways again. Electric pickups, you can see the pickups just here, down on the bogie, running on a third rail. I'll just come back down for the dates because I can't remember. 1959. The two hat or HAP was perfect for the short hop, many stop worlds of the commuter travel. So basically this would jump between the stations in 1959. And there you go, the two hat. And then on this side we've got one of the Royal carriages. I'm just going to get a picture of this. I think I did this last time. The LMS, London, Midland and Scottish Railway Company. Absolutely splendid livery there. And I'm just going to make my way up here. So this is the Royal Train Dining Car of 1900. This carriage was originally designed to be a first-class dining carriage for express trains on the London and North Western Railway, and was later chosen to be part of the Royal train. The luxurious interior with cushioned seating is typical of the turn of the 20th century, and it won an international award for craftsmanship and decoration. So there, as I say, this car dating from 1900. Let's see if we can get some shots inside. I mean, it is absolutely splendid in there. The marquetry, the clear story ceiling, absolutely beautiful. We'll just walk along the Royal carriage here. We've got one final Royal carriage at the end. And this is Queen Alexandra's saloon, dating from 1902. So this saloon was built for Queen Alexandra, the Danish wife of King Edward VII, and was built at the North Western Railway's Wolverton Works, and it is purely stunning. The outside of the carriage is beautiful in itself. The inside is just as well decorated. As we make our way down, you can see the Royal crest on the side there, and the intricate details. Looking at the handles, the lion's head on the top of the handle, and on the buckles for the turnbuckles for the doors, you can see the crown, and again another lion's crest at the bottom there. Even, and I think I remember showing this last time as well, even the walk through to the next carriage, you know, the concertina here, all lined in crushed velvet. Really beautiful. Another Southern electric loco here. So it does say here the 4-core electric multiple unit was built for long distance travel between London and Portsmouth, stopping at smaller stations on the way. So another Royal carriage here. This is a Royal train brake carriage, and you can see this one is in teak, so no guessing who's connected with this. So yeah, Nigel Gresley designed this in 1908. So before 1923, the East Coast Main Line between London and Edinburgh was divided into 3 railway companies, and basically this was the joint stock for the Royal train on that particular line. So the carriage does have a handbrake to keep the train secure when uncoupled from the locomotive, and is equipped with a boiler, stove, sink and fridge for the royal attendants. So eventually, as we know, Gresley went on to become the LNER's chief mechanical engineer and produced all those wonderful locos. Just moving down a little way. What a beautiful coach. Now last year on the Severn Valley Railway I did have the pleasure of riding in their teak set, and it was another one of those box ticking moments where I achieved something that I'd always wanted to do, which was really wonderful. This is a third class corridor coach dating from 1898, again in teak, and it is splendid. Look at this. It says third class there, and on the side East Coast, and if we just have a look at the emblem on the side here, yeah, magnificent. Well, this looks rather fun. I mean, they're building a model railway here, so volunteers are currently preparing the baseboard. So yeah, this model railway looks like it's going to be quite a nice little layout here. Yeah, see all the boards are in. Obviously something's going to happen here, some sort of bridge or viaduct, I'm guessing. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing that. Okay, a Class M1. Not familiar with this loco. Quite an early one, 1893. 4 large driving wheels. This engine was built for speed, it says. And you can see there on the side, 1621. Lovely looking loco. And you can see the tender here, northeastern stock. Yeah, Class M1. Can actually have a quick look inside the cab on this. I'm not sure. Well, certainly I can see the wood panelling in there, but yeah, can't see around the corner because there's a seat in the way, and I can't lean far enough forward. Never mind. Yeah, lovely looking loco. Well, from the outside looks like a normal boxcar, but this is actually a Mogo van. This was particularly made for carrying early motor cars. You see on the picture there. So it says here the Great Western Railway gave its car carrying wagons the telegraphic code Mogo to quickly describe what they were in communications. The opening end doors and flaps that dropped down to cover the buffers and couplings allowed a car to be driven into the wagon, and the design was flexible. So let's just have a quick look at the end. Quite an interesting wagon there. You'd see the doors would open and there'd be a flap inside that would come down and allow the car to drive in and out. Well, industrial locomotive here from Ellington Colliery, 1962 this is dated, and Hudswell Clark. And you can see in here the conditions. You'd be sort of perched on the side there. There's a little bench seat on the far side, the dead man's handle in the middle, and I'm guessing this would disappear underground. And well used, and very much a functional utility vehicle. And before I go back to do the early locos, this magnificent machine, the Winston Churchill, the Spam Can, as they were affectionately known. The streamlined Bullitt Pacific. This particular one, named Winston Churchill, did pull the funeral procession of Winston Churchill. I do love the wheels on these. They're such iconic shapes, aren't they? And you see all the ejector pipes all on the side. Absolutely huge loco. Saw one of these down at the Bluebell in Steam. It's just absolutely magnificent. Fortunately, all these railings in the front of it, so I can't get a nice shot of the loco. But yeah, you get the impression. It's got such a presence here in the museum. Right, I'm going to go back and do the early locos now, and then we'll head over to the new building, just back past Hardwick here. Well, right at the front of the museum, on pride of place, is the loco of the moment. This is Locomotion number 1. This is the Locomotion number 1. It's not a replica, this is the actual one. This is the first train, or said to be the first train, to pull all of those carriages on the Docton and Starlington Railway in 1825. This famous picture here, I'm just going to zoom in on it here, this very famous picture shows the train pulling the legendary multiple cauldron wagons with hundreds and hundreds of people on. You know, I think there was only supposed to be something like 200 or 300 tickets sold, and it's said to have pulled thousands, maybe even 1,000 people. That's the legend anyway. What really happened, nobody really knows. The picture itself, this was created on the 50th anniversary of the Loco. So this picture was painted in 1875, 50 years on from the event. And do check out my video on Hopetown in the middle of Darlington, where we visit the actual location of this picture. Back to Locomotion. So Hornby recently released their model of Locomotion. Now, I had a few teething problems with my one, but what a marvellous model. And the engineering in it and the modelling techniques for a mass-produced model, absolutely wonderful. But certain things on there that they have captured, which I was surprised at. You've got the bell at the top here, and on the wheels, just to point out the wheels down the bottom here, we've got this part of the 3 of the wheels. You can see this is filled in, and then there is one odd wheel on here on the back right hand corner. You can see this wheel, this area is open, so you've got that one different wheel on here. This is because you know, as you probably all know the story, Locomotion was only on the rails for a few years, and then it became a stationary engine, a pumping engine at one of the collieries. And at the end of its life in the collieries, somebody realised what this engine really was, and it was restored for display. And at that time, only 3 of the wheels were in existence. A 4th odd one was added, and that's been on there ever since. And Locomotion has been in preservation for an awful long time. The Loco you see here was actually rebuilt from its pumping status in 1856, which is almost 125 years ago, that this actually went into, let's call it, preservation. So yeah, certainly a wonderful relic of the railway age, and yeah, predating the rocket by some years. Moving on, we've got one of the cauldron wagons. I'm not sure if this is one of the original ones. Let me just have a read. This one, you've got 2 here. One's about 1830, one's about 1820. Got a cauldron wagon there, and one here. And then from there we've got the dandy cart. What's this carriage here? Again, very early railways. Carriage number 59. So this is one of the oldest existing railway carriages in the world, used on the Stockton and Darlington Railway. Carriage number 59 was made 22 years after the opening of the railway, but its body and passenger compartments still share similarities with a road-going stagecoach. And you see the body actually mounted on these leaf springs, much as you would see in a traditional coach. So you've got like a fixed axle, and then the body being sprung above. Absolutely wonderful to see that. 1847 that's dated. Here we have a copy of Sans Pareil. So Sans Pareil without parallel, so I found out. My French not being what it used to be. This is a replica. This was built in 1978, and we're going to see the real thing in a moment. And then just down from Sans Pareil there, we've got another replica, this time of a travelling post office. So this replica of the first example built by the Grand Junction Railway in 1838 marks the century of the travelling post office. So this one, the replica, was actually built in 1938, replicating an original carriage from 1838. And at the end here, what's this one? A North British Railways dandy car. So horse-drawn, and you see at the end here where you'd have the coachman. I don't know what the terminology is. Driving the horse, riding the horse, controlling the horse, I don't know. But yeah, sitting on the coach there, holding the reins. Holding the reins, I think, is probably the best term. So that's those, but I'm just going to turn around the other way because there's some people that way. Go past the back 5. And over here to you know, very special and unique locos. So we've just seen Locomotion number 1, the Locomotion number 1. Here we have the Sans-Pareil, this one from 1829. Took part in the Rainhill trials, and this is the Timothy Hackworth design. Timothy Hackworth was Chief Superintendent of the Stockton and Darlington Railway, and his house is just down the line to the right of me. I'm not going to have time to visit that today, unfortunately, because the museum's going to close soon. But his house has been restored, it's just down there. But yeah, this is the loco that was at the Rainhill trials. And yeah, for its age, not in too bad a condition. And then over here, probably one of the most famous locos of all time, Stephenson's Rocket. So Robert Stephenson's masterpiece. Not the first loco. I mean, some people say it's the first loco, but again, part of the Rainhill trials. And but this is the actual rocket. Now it's had some modifications since its days from the Rainhill trials. Now in its life, running back and forth on the Liverpool and Manchester Railway, it did have some modifications throughout its life. It was fitted with a larger firebox. You can see the smoke box on the front here was completely changed from the original chimney. If I just pan down to the picture there, the chimney used to come out of the boiler. Now we've got a smoke box on the front and a more traditional chimney which allowed the soot to be emptied. And also you can see here the pistons, rather than being at 45 degrees, are more horizontal, much more in the sort of conventional position of pistons, which allow for much smoother running. But the reason Rocket is credited with being the first loco, and I'm sure most people, especially people that are watching the channel, know this, the technology advances that the loco had. So if I just lift up the camera, you can see the tubes running through the boiler. So this was the first loco, and you know, Robert Stephenson's epiphany moment, shall we say, where he ran these tubes through the boiler to get better heat transfer from the fire that was drawn through the tubes up into the water that was held in the boiler. And this basically became the blueprint for all steam locomotives going forward. Hence why this is known as the first steam locomotive. And to actually see it here in the flesh is pretty amazing. So, having been truly humbled by being in the presence of 3 very special locomotives, not to mention, you know, the prototype ATP, the prototype Intercity 125, and that beautiful Deltic, I'm now going to head over to the new building and yeah, see the rest of the collection that's here in Shildon. Oh wow, look at this, the Gateshead Works fire engine. It says here, railway companies, including the North Eastern Railway, formed volunteer fire brigades from their staff at important locations to tackle outbreaks of fire on or close to company property. That is splendid. Look at the pump inside, and yeah, the vertical boiler, obviously to run the water pump on the back of the... Wow, that is marvellous. We've just seen the actual rocket, and here's the replica. So this, I believe, is the working replica, given the soot and dirt on here, and coming to the front, you can see the heat marks on the boiler. So I do believe this is the steaming one. Well, I know it's the steaming one, but you can see the differences here with the smoke box and the chimney. You know, there's no smoke box in here, it's straight out off the flues on the boiler, and you can see the position of the pistons and the smaller firebox as well that yeah, this replica has. So this is the replica that as it would have run in the Rainhill trials. I mean, I think if I remember rightly, there are some little modern modifications on here. I think the bearings are modern and things like that, but and a couple of safety features. Yeah, you can see yeah, there's a big giveaway there with the canister sitting underneath for the vacuum brakes. You can see the air tank there. So yeah, there are some little features. Yeah, there's a pressure gauge there, just monitoring the brake pressure. So yeah, a few modern little features on there just to make sure that it's safe to run. I'd love to see it running. Maybe that's why it's at the front of the museum, and yeah, maybe the intention is to have it out running up and down the demonstration line later this year, celebrating the 200 years of the railway. Well, we got the shop here, and I was just talking to gentlemen. They're actually running the stock down in here because the shop's due for a refit. But I said it last year, I'm going to say it again. It is great to see model railways properly represented in a shop in the Railway Museum. We've just come over here, Locomotion models. I'm sure most of you are aware of them. But there are some very nice little wagons here. Got the Deltics at the top there, and then the Locomotion display here. So if you go onto the web and search Locomotion models, you'll find their shop, and they have all these different locos for sale there. You've got a prototype. This is where I saw it, look. The prototype power car for the Intercity 125. I said I couldn't remember which manufacturer it was. It's actually Locomotion models in association with someone else. There is the British Rail APTE in here, and various other. We've got the fenced-in York Smalling loco there from Bachmann branch line. But yeah, really well stocked little model shop, and lots of different locos on sale here, all from Bachmann. Another Bachmann cabinet, Bachmann stock, and then over here Graham Farish and Engage. EFE rail there. They've got some buses, a little Hornby section. Got a cabinet here with models from Hornby, and at the top there TT 120, the Flying Scotsman, the Easter. Again, Flying Scotsman over here, and some of the Trying Remembered sets. And then just in the middle of the shop from Hornby, a lovely little model railway. Just wait for the loco to come round. Filming through perspex here, so it's never going to be particularly clear. There we go. Very nice indeed. And oh, look at these brake vans. Lovely. And tucked underneath here, look, there is the rolling truck. So I mentioned when I was in the Railway Museum in York that I went on a rocket reproduction truck. Well, that must be the one that would run behind the running replica rocket. Just seeing what other trains are here while there's a lot of people walking past. Another Class 08 over the back there. Matey, that one is called. We got here a water tank off a saddle tank loco, and then panning round onto the forecourt here, again where the Great Gathering was, with the words Locomotion above the building. Very aesthetic building, this one. You see here they've got a little platform. They do, in summer months run different locos back and forth on the line here, but yeah, it's early. The Stockton and Darlington route, so this would have been where the original line was. It's now part of the main line, just the other side of the green fence there. As I mentioned, in Hopetown there's no locos on the line today. Nothing running in steam and nothing running on the main line. The main line's got a bus replacement service today, so won't see any trains going past. Well, it's great to see this back in one piece. This was a pile of bits when I came here last year. This is the Gormless Bridge from 1823, originally in Newcastle, and then spent all of its recent life in the car park at the York Museum, hence why I said from York, in the car park at National Railway Museum in York. Been there for the best part of 50 years, and it was moved up here to Shildon as part of the exhibit, building the new building over there. This was then erected, and it's sort of been restored, repainted. This is one of the earliest wrought iron bridges built by George Stephenson, or designed by George Stephenson I should say. As I say, originally carried tracks in Newcastle. You can see here just on the sign there's a picture there of the sketch of the bridge crossing over the river. As it crossed over the River Gormless, hence the Gormless Bridge, connecting the Stockton Darlington Railway with Witton Park Colliery west of Shildon. We're just panning round from the new building known as New Hall. You can see across the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doors that lead the rails into the covered section, and you can see the drop-offs so they can bring the track out, the locos in and out of the building there. Rails run outside. Now, if you've been to Shildon over the last couple of years, you'll know that it was quite a muddy car park. Nicely new laid car park here, and we've got the Gornless Bridge, which used to be in York, has been reassembled in front of the old building of Locomotion. I am going to mention the Great Gathering because I came here many moons ago in February to see all 6 of the A4s on the forecourt there in front of the Locomotion building. I did mention it quite a few times last year because it's one of those events in life that will live with me. But yeah, I came and saw them at Locomotion in my first visit here, and yeah, what a fantastic time that was. Well, this is the new building. This was been built when we were here last year. Yeah, first thing that hits you as you walk through the door, much like the Railway Museum in York, is the smell of engine oil in here. Steam oil. It's got a very distinctive smell that the camera doesn't capture. Yeah, all the locos are lined up in here, all the way down the building in 4 or 5 rows. And we'll just walk up and down a few and have a look at some of them. So this is a line from Hetton Colliery. It says here it was a proving ground of the railway system. When the railways opened in 1822, engineers flocked to see this groundbreaking technology on show. Now, it does actually say on here that it resembles the rocket, but I think actually it's more like Locomotion, isn't it, with the vertical pistons running down through the boiler. And just have a look in there, on the footplate. I mean, it's a very rudimentary footplate, isn't it? You can see the well, I don't even know the controls, to be honest with you. Just looking on there, nothing's familiar. Obviously the sight glasses for the water, but I can't see a regulator lever. I'm sure somebody will know and will tell me. But yeah, great to see. One of the oldest, it also says here, Lion was once thought to be the oldest working steam locomotive in the world, but I thought that was over in the States, the John Ball, but never mind, I don't know. Sam Harbour Cauldron Wagon. This is different from the Cauldron Wagons that we saw earlier in Hopetown. This one's actually got a mechanism to open a trapdoor in the base to allow the coal to drop through the base into the ships. Let's just walk along. I'm not going to spend too much time on all the locos. That's a splendid looking machine. Class Q7. I can't get far enough away to get the whole of the loco in shot, which is a shame. But I think you get the idea. A wonderful LEDR written on the tender. I just noticed while I was filming the LNER there, the sort of rippling on the screen, so hopefully it's not too distracting. Obviously I'm catching the lights and camera's going in and out of phase with them, so apologies if it is distracting away from the video. 20-ton mineral hopper. What we got? Strathmore Summit, 1,370 feet. There's a 20-ton coal hopper. So one of the things they were trying to do with this second building was to bring a lot of the rolling stock inside, and obviously they want it all just to be rolling stock in here, so they moved some of the locos around. Right then, this is one that I did want to come and have another look at. So I saw this last year, and I actually bought a 00 gauge model of this at the Alexandra Palace exhibition. The ES1 shunting locomotive, or electric locomotive. Really interesting. North Eastern Railway, and yeah, pioneering the use of electric traction. And yeah, if you want to see the video I did on this, it was a beautiful model. I should have made a note of who made it. I think it was a Rapido model that I had. It certainly came from Locomotion Models. and I bought it at the Alexandra Palace, and yeah, absolutely fantastic. A very highly rated model. All the detailing and the rivets and the little cooling ducts on the end here, all of this was all captured in there, and the cab detail as well, all in 00 gauge. So yeah, worth a look if you're interested. But it's nice to see the loco again. Anyway, trying to get a reasonable shot of it in all its glory, but it's quite hard to get far enough away to capture it all in the frame. Hopefully that's a little bit better. You can see the centre lamp on there. I'll just come over this side, and I'm actually walking to the door frame that goes outside just to try and get it all in shot. Right, there we go. Okay, just down the bottom here, it's got different groupings. This one was orange, it's a coal. This one's anything goes anywhere. So just a total mix of different wagons and things on here. Servicing the system, this one's called. So we start with Network Rail Snowplow. You see the chevrons on there. I doubt that's been used for many years. We've got a tamping machine here. Quite an interesting bit of kit. Obviously to set the ballast on between the rails. I'm just going to quickly capture the other side as we go back down. So there's a LWSR goods wagon there, and a flatbed 3-plank wagon. Really interesting one here, the well wagon. And you can see the furniture removed from warehouse, Ridgway and Sons. So many manufacturers and model railways have put the furniture removal wagons on different flatbeds. This one, as I say, is a well wagon. This side, steam crane, travelling steam crane, complete with its vertical boiler. And just down here on the rails, there's a couple of, I think they're called velocipedes, is that right? They're little pedal cars that you sit on one side. Yes, it's velocipede. And yeah, pedal along on the rails. Yeah, Buddha plate layers velocipedes, dating from about 1890, and this one here is a Wickham trolley from 1933. Here we have a wharf flat wagon, complete with a tank mounted on top. I was struggling to get far enough away from all of the items in here to capture them in their full glory. Jib runner and crane. And 1951 cattle wagon. Now I did actually find when I was rearranging one of my collections the other day, I found a few of the Hornby 00 cattle wagons. Now if you know of those, they're really rare, really sought after, and yeah, I've got 2 of them in the collection. I will do a review on those at one point, but it does actually say, I think I mentioned this last year, there's not many of these in preservation, because obviously with the animals in there they tended to rot through the floor, and a lot of these wagons were scrapped. I remember mentioning that last year. You can hear the cow making a noise behind me. Got Aerolite here, the North Eastern Railway. North Eastern Railway number 66 from Gatehead Works. Quite difficult to see inside, but nice mahogany panelling, and you can see, I don't know if you can make it out, but all lined with wood inside the cab there, and even down on the springs you see the lining down on the springs. Just the attention to detail, it's just lovely on these engines. as we head down this a little bit further, we finish the row of service vehicles with another snow plough.
Do you know what it is? I bet that stickles on the inside of these trams.
This one, the North Eastern Railways. And you see this would be pushed along, and you can see the scoop at the front here that would clear the snow off of the rails.
Oh look, there's another plough.
So this is a Class G2, otherwise known as a Super D. Yeah, beautiful looking loco, isn't it? Lovely. And then the Sentinel just here. Industrial railways, it says on the floor there, industrial railways, starting with the Sentinel. And yeah, I've also reviewed one of these on the channel. The one I did review was an 060, this one's an 040, but just seeing what it says here. It says here, this vehicle ran for almost 50 years in many industrial locations, including Seaham Harbour and Bass Brewery in Burton-on-Trent. Big hopper wagon here. What is this, a limestone hopper? And on this side, I've just walked past Class 31. There's a very unique smell in here, you know, of engine oil mixed with a little bit of steam oil. It's yeah, as I mentioned it yesterday in York. Yeah, the camera certainly doesn't capture that. And being here, walking this close to all of the wagons and locos, you know, they're sort of towering over us as we're walking through. It's very difficult to get shots of them because we're so close, but being here in person, being so close to them, you get a real, you know, idea or impression of the size of these things. This is a 32-ton heel coal hopper wagon. And on the first row in here, you know, some of the wagons over there, they were 20-ton coal wagons. This one, you know, is 32 ton, so we're getting on for a third, or at least half again, of weight-wise being added in there. This is a petroleum tanker. It says here, Phillips petroleum tank wagon from 1970. Some interesting videos if you have a look on the net of these imploding. Basically, you know, there's a phenomenon if they've just been left with a small amount of liquid in them, and basically the liquid expands, and then when it contracts rapidly overnight, these tanks are sort of prone to implode. It's worth having a look if you have a look through on you know, different YouTube videos. I'm sure you'll find some. Oh, well, this one's a Lomac wagon with a GNR tender mounted on the back of it. Don't know what the tender's from, but yeah, what's this wagon here? Quite interesting. Certainly from Wakefield. Let's have a look. So just walking along here, I wonder what this wagon was. It looks quite industrial. And here's the answer. City of Sheffield Sewage Department, Disposal Department. Return empty to Tinsley Sidings. Yeah, so that certainly carried some lovely load in there. Right, this one's a clay hood wagon. So China clay is the raw ingredient that gives fine porcelain and paper their brilliant white colour. So obviously with the tarpaulin on here, this gives it the cover, so hence the hood wagon with the tarpaulin hood. Got a 40-ton ballast hopper. And another national petrol wagon. This is quite an interesting little wagon at the loco at the end here. Let's have a look what we got. A Simplex, of course it is. Simplex petrol shunting locomotive. Wartime innovation, repurposed for peacetime use. So basically these Simplexes, you would, you know, typically see them on the Western Front. with armour plating all round them. Saw one of these at the Fenstiniog Railway. Sorry, apologies, I didn't recognise it without the armour plating on. But yeah, the simplex wagon here. This one dating from 1931, so obviously in between the war years. But a very interesting little diesel loco there. So these wagons that we've just been down on the line here were built in Childon. And then finally just down here we've got freight futures. And just while we're at the end here, I'm just going to capture this new building in all its glory. So I mentioned 5 or 6 rails. We've got six different rails in here running the full length of the building, so I'll just pan down. And quite well lit. As I say, it is going in and out of phase with my camera a little bit, so hopefully not too distracting. But yeah, great addition to the railway. And certainly got some of this, you know, certainly rolling stock under cover. Some of this was out in the yard, and it's great to see it brought inside so that it's protected from the weather. Stanton mineral wagon, a staple of model railways all round the world. Been replicated many times in miniature. Mineral wagon here, another one from 1955. 060 saddle tank, Juno. I'll just read you a couple of bits from the sign. So, austerity steam locomotive Juno from 1958. These cheap, basic 1940s austerity locos were designed to last just 2 years, but some were still in operation 40 years later. A little further down, the classic Class 08 diesel shunter. I've restored a couple of these on the channel. Not full-size ones, obviously. I'm talking miniature ones, but yeah, if you want to have a look at getting some of the 00 gauge Class 08s back on the line, there's a couple of videos there if you're interested. Let me just move down a little bit and try and get a better shot of it, because it is an absolutely towering loco. Standing so close to it, I mean, when I come up next to it, I'm only coming up to, yeah, maybe this, just above this this rail here. That's about roughly on my eye line, and then the loco goes all the way up. It's an absolute beast. You don't realise quite how big these diesel engines are. So this one here, at the base, we've got a conflat wagon, and on the top of it, a speed freight container. So the container's from 1962, and the wagon itself 1959. And then finally another coal hopper, a lot of graffiti on the side. And I've got a video, I haven't actually put it out yet, I filmed it, I've edited half of it. Repurposing a box of old coaches actually, but I did put graffiti on the side of those. So yeah, this one's kept with the graffiti on. And yeah, unlike the sculpture as we came into Darlington this morning, it's graffiti I can show on camera. And yeah, this one, quite interesting, this is a 102 ton coal hopper. So we've gone from 20 tons to 32 tons to this one at the end here, which is 102 tons. So you can only imagine the weight of a full train pulling all of these hoppers. Yeah, 102 tons each. What an amazing little room here in the museum, extension to the museum, shall we call it. Bring a lot of the stock inside, and I think quite a nice addition to Locomotion at Shildon. Well, I had an absolutely fantastic day here at the National Railway Museum. At their second site in Children, called Locomotion. It's the biggest railway collection undercover in Europe now, and they've got so much stock up here, it's well worth the travel. And with the second building, it really has changed the place. It's, the collection's certainly more organised and a lot more spaced out. Shop is really good. Unfortunately, it didn't have the one thing I wanted, which was the Rail 200 wagons. that I'd seen down in the National Railway Museum yesterday in York. I thought I'll pick them up when I go to Shildon, and unfortunately they didn't have them in stock, so yeah, I missed out on those, which is a shame. I did want one of those, but never mind. Anyway, if you've enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and why not check out the channel, lots on there, and if you can subscribe, you're doing me a really big favour. And with that, I'm going to leave this one there, say thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.